everybody. I want to welcome you to today's show. As always, got my right hand with me, Donald Clay Sr.
Yes, sir.
Been around the lab for a while. Been, my spiritual guidance, whatever you want to call it or whatever. Talk me off the cliff a lot of times.
Vice versa.
So that's my brother, partner in crime. But man, today we got a special guest. Probably a lot of people, whenever they see it,
don't need no introduction.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like
don't need no introduction.
My guy AB, Albert Brock, AB Explode, the facilities, ABX Elite Sports Training Facility, over there in Harahan. And man, welcome to the show, dog.
It's a pleasure to be here, G baby. Both of you guys, you and Clay, man. I know that's your right hand man for sure. We've been watching through the years. That's we need that by our side. But man, I'm glad to be here, bro. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Yes, sir.
And I kind of definitely want to shout out your place, and I watched you. I did the same thing. Started in the field and kind of work your way through, and that's kind of like some of the stuff that I want to talk about today, because a lot of our young kids get involved in something, and it's very humble beginnings. And like my boy said, a diamond starts out as a piece of coal. And the more pressure we put on it, it turns into a diamond. And you've definitely taken what you've done and what the gift that's God given you and definitely turned it into a jewel. So, congratulations on that. And I just want you to kind of elaborate on your story a little bit, how you started out, what got you involved in it, and kind of we'll go from there.
Well, from the beginning, man, starting off on my journey started in high school, just falling in love with it, just being an athlete. I was a pretty good, decent athlete, might I say. Coming out of high school, I was top 50 in the country in 300 hurdles, state MVP, played football. So fast forward a little bit, I went to University of New Orleans. Originally was going to Louisiana Tech, but as we all could see, my little mama, my pride and joy, who was on the side of me, I ended up having her at a very young age, so I stayed home with the UNO, where I competed, ran collegiately in track, 300 hurdles again, high jumper. Within that process, man, I ended up studying kinesiology. And I just fell in love with the body and learning what it takes to be an elite athlete.
Yeah.
Fast forward a little bit more, school wasn't going too well. I had a lot of priorities with Lil Mama. It kind of put me in a sticky situation. It's not that school was hard, but I needed some ends. So at that same time, Deion Jones, my guy, needed help for his pro day, right? If he came off his NFL Combine prep. At the NFL Combine, he ran, 5'4"?
Yeah, he's a super athlete.
Yeah, so we trained for 4 weeks. For his pro day, he went 4.38. So as we know at this point, one of the fastest times all time for a linebacker. It's been up ever since. And in that process, G, like you mentioned from the park, grinding in, grinding out, all those $20 sessions added up.
Lord.
And then we hit a day where we have our facility, man, by the grace of God, bro.
Yeah. It's a blessing, man. Like, watching the growth, people see the outside and they don't see the day-to-day, because I know, like, on our side, like, bro, I'm talking about, like, I closed this thing in my mind 100 times, but by the grace of God, and like I said, a lot of times, like, right here talking, man, you got to get your shit together, dog. That's not what we doing.
Yeah.
God ain't took you this far to stop it now, and it's, man, it's hard, though, when you in it.
Shit get tough. It make you want, like, just give it all up. But like you said, though, man, we got to keep going.
Well, first and foremost, bro, I just want to let you know here in front of the world, nothing happens by mistake. You're right where you need to be as far as AB. The story goes, if you want to make God laugh, tell him what your plans are. Yeah. And he put us through a lot of life situations, and, we don't see a lot of them, but at the end of the day, we were born in his mirror image. So what he says, that's what it's going to be. Yeah. And as long as you're able to accept that and roll with that, then, you have no choice but to prosper, because your steps are already, they're already anointed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for everyone, anyone who feels like, okay, and again, grind, work hard, but don't be upset when he call you for what his calling on your life is.
Man, I feel like I'm in a real spiritual session, and reason being, that's like my third time in the last 2 weeks hearing that right there.
Keeping it a buck, bro.
When you try to make plans, guys laugh at you, man. That's
Yeah,
like,
and that's
like
that's
third
real
time
talk.
last couple weeks I heard that.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. Like, you know, and that's the problems we have, you know, as people, like, you know, as we growing up, and you know, we have all of these dreams and aspirations. You know, some gonna work hard towards it to go get it, and some won't. But you know, every stepping stone that we step across is just building us for His plans. And when we follow His plans, like, you won't lose.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, you take just our relationship and where it started and where it went and where it circled back to.
I love this.
Those who don't know me,
I love this.
I
love this. I love this. I love that.
Louisiana knows this at one point.
Yeah, I think they do know. That,
No,
you know
they
what
don't
I'm saying?
know.
Like,
They don't know.
I think to a certain level people know, but you know,
I love it, little bro.
I
love it.
as a person,
I love it.
full accountability, I have to grow and I have to mature and I have to do that every day. And you know, I had my mindset that I found something that the world needed to see, and I wanted to shake them and show it to them. And it's like, it don't work like that. Again, it's on His timing, not ours. So, you know, what I've seen you build is like, you know, it's hats off, bro. It's like, it's big. It's a and what I was saying before about when you're in it, like a lot of these kids right now, you know, you see all of these guys like Inky Johnson and these guys are talking about falling in love with the process. And they got these corny ass lines and stuff like that. But when you really look at the value in a statement like falling in love with the process, if you have the capability to do that, then the end result doesn't matter no more. So when the door closes, the process is always going to exist until you're ready to stop. Because I know, and if anybody sits here and says they dug it out the mud and didn't think about quitting, they lying.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop you right there. Just real quick, revert a little back, because you said something. You was eager for the world to see something. And I was eager being 22, like at them parks, I was eager just to give it to everyone.
Yeah.
But it took me for getting a certain type of space that you were in now to realize, hold on, he don't know how to do this. He want to be neurologic fast, but his body responding like this. And forced me to kind of take a step back and really break it down and teach these athletes and understand what you were doing with them too. So now I said, like, shit, we meshing now. So
yeah, it's gonna be a marriage. Like the world don't even know what's about to hit them.
Yeah, exactly. And we're talking about something that nowhere in this country it's given how we're about to give it to them. And no strut intended with this, but just from the scientific standpoint, what you give us from the neurological responses you're going to give the body, tying it to just the prep, what it takes to run fast, to be explosive. What I'm doing, man, it's going to be different.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I always say, like, a lot of them programs and stuff like that, they out there and you could go get faster, you could get stronger and stuff like that, and they work, but nobody's ever looked at injury or security from the standpoint that we have. Is it don't have to be part of the game. It don't have to happen. If there's things that we could do to, you know, go back. We talking, you know, and we kind of jumping around, and that's what we do here. Is like we just talk, say what's on your heart.
That's it.
And the thing is like you get a kid. We know this, AB, and you know, it don't take no fool to know that if a kid in our area, which most of them come see one of us either way, or maybe both of us throughout the course, if they get hurt, that street is calling. You know what I'm saying? And that was a big thing too. Whenever, you know, this whole thing started to kind of show itself between us, it's like, bro, when we went over that other day and Chester was there, and Chester was like, man, gee, this shit should have been happened. Like when he said that to me, I instantly felt like we cheated that kid.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like full accountability. I felt like we took something, and that shit is the very thing that I've been trying not to do, is to take everything and I get in my own way.
Yeah. I actually came back to your facility, you know, when I came drop the balls off, but I really wanted to chop something up with you because, like G said, it struck me. It struck me, and it was like, when I got home, Lil One was home, you know, fresh off a workout with AB. He was like, man, I'm back. Like I'm back. Like I feel better. And then he went to saying it too. He was like, man, me and Chester was talking, and it was like, man, like Pops, just think about it. Like if this marriage would have been made, like man, like but again, you know, everything happens in the right time. You know,
Right.
you had to get yourself together. AB had to get himself together. You know, and then, you know, again, we get the egos out the way. Or not even so much the egos. It's not even egos. It's just the hungerness of, okay.
It's ego too.
Well, again.
We're competitors.
you know,
like you supposed to be.
yeah,
Fuck, I
yeah.
can't be out here just.
And at the end of the day, too, like, you know, now straight intended, like we have the best athletes in America.
Yes.
So
True.
like you kind of picky who.
And
your
most
kid's
of them's in the
going to.
worst situation.
Yeah. So like
true.
what you're saying, G, like people don't realize, you know, of course we doing this, you know, to take care of our families, but at one point I'm in the park. I swear to God, scholarship probably with $20,000 for the athletes training because, like you said, if this don't work out with them, they backburn is it's the streets, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you throw some type of injury or something out, you know, and it's over for the kid. And that was, I think, was my big thing, is I saw that part of it, but I didn't see because like full transparency, 3-4 years ago, whenever that was, the first time that we sat down, like I don't even think I could have really gave you the best version of what I was at the
now.
time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right, yeah.
It took time to water this plant. Like a seed was basically planted in me. So, you know, to get that stuff kind of, you know, together, it just takes time. And
Nah, you're right, because when you came to my facility and we talked about in the conversation, midway through the conversation, I'm like, God damn, he know his shit. Like shit. So like you're right, it took time for you to acquire all that knowledge.
And then, you know, you've been building the speed thing. Like you know, it's been your specialty and all of that stuff. And then when we talked about the combine training and the pro day stuff, I was like, this a marriage.
Yeah,
like
makes sense.
it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen together. And kind of
And again, you know, you don't, not to cut you.
no, you go.
But you know, you don't want, you know, at the end of the day, like you don't want to put the kids in a situation where it's like, okay, should I go here? Should I go here? Okay, I'm over here, but I can't go over here. You know, it's just a different thing. Like you said, it had to take its time for it to be marriage together. For the kids' sake to be like, or for the young men's sake to be like, okay, I don't have to be like hiding going to AB or hiding going to anywhere else because again, you know, like I'm comfortable in going to whatever guy gonna give me the best for that particular training that I'm looking for, whether it be recovery, whether it be speed, whether it be whatever it be. But you don't want to have them in a situation, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of times, like you don't see like in the 2018 era, the era that we had, that 2018, 2019, like all of those dudes were athletes. They were all like focusing, going in the same path. Well, 9 times out of 10, like guys in our city, they don't have the luxury of saying, okay, this my guy, this my guy, this my guy, and we all going the same path.
That's 100.
Usually it's one guy going this way and the other 3 doing whatever they do. And like his mentality might be, okay, just like, you know, because they're saying is, man, I want to be able to be successful to feed my mom. Well, at the same time, in his mindset where he's going to feed his mom, he really on some feed my guys too. So if he don't get to where he's trying to go for whatever reason, then like you said, now it's like 3 versus 1, 2 versus 1, or however many versus 1. It's easy for them to pull him to them. And 9 times out of 10, what they doing, like you said, in our city, it ain't nothing good. So now he's sucked into something that, you know, it probably could have been avoided if he had had that proper
and
family around him.
One of the things too, like, you know, we'll talk training and stuff like that, but like the one thing we tried to do, like with our foundation training forward, was give them a different view. Like a lot of kids, like, you know, they don't say, man, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a this, I want to be that. Most of them's just like, they got the mentality, I gotta go get this bag. And it's not, they're going to use the school to get to the league, when in reality, like we were training forward, we were trying to show them the education side of it. If you go to school and get the degree, power comes with knowledge. There's something that you can put behind your name. There's letters or whatever. You get a bachelor's degree, and then whatever, you get a master's degree. You could come back and then make a difference And it's like we going out there and I wanna do better. I wanna feed my mom. That's not. It's like cliche though.
That's the winning.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to all the young guys out there who know it's about the degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're chasing the ball and we understand that. That's beautiful. Baseball, basketball, football, whatever you're chasing, that's beautiful. But the degree is the 40-year plan.
100%. 100%.
And
Cut and dry. It's the 40-year plan.
it's the after, like this football shit. I was looking at the numbers the other day. It's 3% of all high school kids play college. 3% of that play some type of professional ball. Of the 3% that go play pro ball, probably only 1% of them actually make money.
Yeah.
Some of them leagues, you're just getting enough to get by. But you go get the degree and you go get the job, and then you come back and you could change. It's generational wealth with education in a sense, and that needs to be the goal. Not just like I said, feed my mom and stuff like that. Like we need to let these kids know it's bigger.
Yeah,
you know. And I know I done seen you sit down with these kids and talk to them, and it's a mentor thing, and like the whole growth and development thing, and you from the beginning and digging it out the mud and never quitting and keep pushing through. I almost feel like that's what you have to be as a trainer, because you're going to be sitting down with those kids and you're going to be talking to them about this is what life did. And if you can't walk that walk, if you haven't walked that walk, how can you tell them?
Yeah, and that's 100% too, because I'm big on the dogs mentality. When you walk in the facility, it's a big ass 8-foot banner that says dogs only. Yeah, I pride teaching kids the psychology side of sports.
Yeah,
you can know the mechanics all you want, but you can't apply this shit to full potential. It's nothing. And revert back to what you said real quickly about the trainers. Kids not be able to pick, the team and moving forward. My favorite quote all the time, I try to keep it simple as I can for the kids, bro, is that Albert Einstein said it, the smartest man knows he doesn't know everything. So make sure you get your team, people who are good at certain areas, and you move forward with that.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I had to come to realization, though, up on me and G meetings, that G know shit that I just, it's not my expertise.
Bro, look,
vice versa.
Like you said, listen, the greatest leaders understand and know how to follow more than just being a leader.
Yep, exactly.
Because like you have to have the proper cast around you. Shout out to them FTF guys, because they kind of understand that. So for all you young men who balling, who friends not on the ball, listen, man, I also want y'all to understand you don't have to play ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like you could go be an agent. Yeah. You could go to college and go be an agent.
Well, that's what I was saying.
You
Comes with the degree.
Yeah,
exactly,
like that. All of that play. Like you got to know your role in the team. Okay, we're a team. It's one thing for us to sit here and say we guys, and this is my family, and this is the dude I rock with. But guess what? I understand that I'm not strong in every aspect of my life. I know G has some things that he know way more than like I. And it be that time. Sometimes you play Batman. Sometimes you play Robin. But long as y'all meet the common goal and you get into where you're going with your team, because it's one thing to say family, bro. Yeah. But like, listen, everybody not gonna play ball. Like we need guys who starting to become agents. Like the ball ain't for everybody.
And see the thing with that, Clay, I don't mean to cut you off, but like a lot of these kids don't understand how to apply that sports mentality to the everyday life.
Right.
So that's why when you're teaching, I try to give.
All they see it as is the sports. So once the sports part is over, it's like they lost.
So this is one thing I do. Like every teaching I give them, every cue I apply to real life situation.
Right.
So I'm teaching 40 prep, right? It's something about our stance. I'm teaching weight distribution to
right.
maintain that shift once you rise. And I tell them all the time, one thing about life, people don't like to be uncomfortable.
Never.
They're uncomfortable being uncomfortable. I tell them when they're working in the stance, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like once you master that within your stance, you apply it to evereverything everyday life. So just them understanding psychology, bro. How to
That's
apply
it.
Yeah.
That's
Well, it is. It is everyday life. The thing that the kids need to realize too is if I want to be an engineer, there's no it's not a competitive market. Meaning, like if I want to be an NFL running back, it's a highly, extremely hard place to get. Mm-hmm. If my goal is to be but my NFL running back, but my backup plan is to be a doctor, guess what? You could be a doctor because that's all under your control. Yeah. Whereas like there's you get into being an NFL running back, you got politics, you got luck, you got all of these things that come along with that. Yeah. But you got to put yourself in a situation where, hey, I'm gonna shoot for the stars, but I'm also gonna control landing on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of the kids that they need to understand that. They need to see that listen, Baron Sorrell is the big DN at Texas. Barron could have went to Texas without a football scholarship.
Huh.
He had 4.7 GPA at Holy Cross.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? 24 in the ACT or something like that. He could have went wherever he wanted for free.
Yeah.
And then when he picked his school, his first school was Northwestern. I don't know if people even really know that, but he had originally committed to Northwestern. Probably one of the best commitment videos I've ever seen in my life. His brother had just died. He went there. He threw the Northwestern hat on the grave.
Yeah.
It was the university, not Northwestern Louisiana, but Northwestern Illinois. And he chose it because it was a top 10 business school in the country. Like, he didn't choose it because he was going to go be a great DN. He understands that, man, the chances of me making this football stuff is like very slim. And the thing is he's got something that a lot of kids don't have. He passes the eye test when you see him. The dude's like 6'4", 6'5", 265.
Like he looked like the mini
and
Hulk,
I don't
for
think
real.
he stopped growing. Like every time he comes home,
Shout out to man.
this is a human being. Like,
I used to always mess with him like, damn, kid, like, bro, I ain't messing with you like that, bro.
Kid can move, man. Kid can move. That's about what I seen about him.
but
again, knowing he passed the eye test, and for him to just say, okay, my decision on my college degree, the school that I'm going to, is not football related. See, that'd be my thing, honestly, keeping it 100, like, because, like, I get it, you get these scholarships to go play ball, but school go hand in hand with education, not ball.
And then you see that that's one thing too, man. Even the kids who do want to pursue ball, I don't think they understand what this process really takes.
See, that's the
like,
issue.
I'll never forget
That's
seeing
the
Jamar
issue.
Chase for the first time practice, train with me. Now you seen him every single day, G, but I'm like, sheesh. The guy's physical. He finished everything fast. He finished everything full speed. He's strong. And a lot of kids don't know what that takes. Not even just kids. We're talking about kids, but everyday life, everyday people.
right.
Like, whatever you want to do.
And that's
you gotta
the
do it to the
transfer.
most.
That's what you was talking about earlier when you
Yeah.
said relating it to life is, and you go back to, like I said earlier, we jumped around a little bit, but the process of things too. Like, there is a process. This is, as long as you have the willingness to stay in the process, it means you're always moving forward. Listen, my dad was always like, man, son, don't fall on your ass. If you're gonna fall on your face.
They gotta also
make sure you move and fall whenever you fall.
They gotta listen. This probably one of the most pivotal things. Okay, you gotta understand, like, cause everybody say follow the process. You know, go with the process. The process. Understand, the process has failures in it. And if you're not strong enough mentally, once you meet a roadblock that you would consider first of all, it's just a test.
Well, that could
it's
be
not
your
you
end result.
failing, right?
Is you
but
don't
it's
fall in
your
love with the
mindset,
result.
like AB said, dogs only. Like, you have to have that mentality to win at all costs, even when you've faced that block. You know, so do I stop at that block and just be like, okay, I guess this is where I'm supposed to land? No, man. The dog mentality is to get over that hurdle and keep moving forward to your end result, which is your success. Because again, listen, it's all about the journey. This is the whole thing. Like, think about this. So we say we go through the journey to get to the destination. When you reach the destination, though, what really is the destination? By definition, it's almost like the end. So, okay, you go through this journey. Your life is this journey, your ups, your downs, and all of that. But when you get to your destination, if you're strong enough, dog mentality to get then is that the end? Like, okay, so then now it becomes what's next? I conquered that. What's next? So again, it's a process. So when they tell you to follow the process, understand the process is going to have some roadblocks in it. Now, the roadblocks could be just roadblocks if you have the dog mentality, or that could be your in line if you're not strong enough to understand that it's just a test and you keep going.
And to vouch, you know, for how young was a little bit though, man, I feel like they do have a lot more roadblocks than I didn't grow up in the 80s and like that, but you know how like we be like these kids so soft nowadays, and I feel like the biggest roadblock is comparison.
You saying growing up in the 80s is old? I'm 48, dog. Like, damn, bro.
I'm just saying, but you know, around even honestly, me.
Say that, and listen, and in the 80s, they had their same issues. It just because for that time,
era, though.
See, now it's a little bit way more.
Yeah.
So now it's way more progressed.
So you're constantly watching everyone else progress. You watch the highlight reels on Instagram. Your partner's got this off. Your partner just going to the league, and
Listen,
round
you
pick,
said it.
You constantly comparing
Say
yourself.
that.
You-
And that's an internal issue.
That's an
but
internal thing,
like
you're
you
right.
and that
You're right.
now you putting yourself in, because again, now you're not on the focus. The focus is to get where you need to go. The focus saying, like, listen, I need to be tunnel vision and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
I can't watch AB pockets. I can't
Right.
watch G pockets. I can't watch anyone else pockets if I'm focusing on my own pockets. So to see my guys get blessed to receive, hey man, look, listen, I want to see you win because I know I'm just that much closer. If you getting it and I'm in that circle and I'm doing the things you doing, then okay, boom, my time coming. That's it.
Just how
Well-
GLS you guys, I'm sorry, G.
Yeah, no, you
Last
good.
thing. But just how GLS you guys are recoding the kids' bodies, then you understand they have to recode their minds too.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If not, you kind of constantly keep hitting certain barriers.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I need to
When-
write that down.
when-
I'm gonna get my little facility together where it's just recoding the mind. Let's go.
That
Let's
point,
go.
When you talk, earlier, Donald, you made a comment about tell God your plans, and
If you wanna,
If you wanna- if you-
see God
yeah.
laugh, tell him what your
tell
plans
him your
are.
plans, and that's what. When we say fall in love with the process, it means that the end result is not always going to be what you set out for it to be. So as long as you have the ability to work past that, then it's cool. Because listen, every time that I set out to try to accomplish something in this training industry, every time I change something on a website or I do something, I'm like, yeah, this shit gonna blow up. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is it. This is the move
Yeah.
I'm gonna make. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, I'm gonna wake up one morning and two things you gotta fall in love with. Well, you gotta not fall in love with. Let me say that is money, because I've learned this too. Money is just a side effect of success. And success for some people may be money, but it's not for me. It's accomplishment. It's when we get the kid that comes back to the gym and he's like, hey, coach, I was in town, man. I just stopped in to say hello. Because that means you left some type of impression on that kid
Yeah.
that he felt,
Yeah.
he feels like, man, if I don't go see Coach G and I'm
Yeah.
in town,
They feel
then,
bad.
Then
They
yeah,
feel
they
bad.
kind of feel some kind
Listen,
of way.
winners are motivated by winning, not money. If you're a winner and you motivated by winning and you winning, the money gonna follow. That's just a side effect.
got
of
to.
all that.
It's got
so
to.
we not really okay. I gotta chase the bag. I gotta chase the bag. No, bro, you gotta chase the work, because fate without works is dead.
That's why it's beautiful what G said it, because at the end of the day, like I tell my kids, man, people gonna ultimately forget what you did, but never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah,
So that's a long impression
Yeah.
to make everybody. That's success. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to hear you
Yeah.
say, because that's the same
That's success.
characteristic I
and
share.
when you in there and you doing the work and they signing up and this kid, God's gonna provide the things that you need, as long as the message that you putting out is the right message. It's
his
why we
message,
sitting at the
right.
table today.
Yeah.
Is because for whatever reason we found our way back into setting something up for the kids in the city, because we are, the mentality and the things that we're trying to do is right. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You
Right.
trying to get these kids to college. I'm trying to get these kids to college. How we get them there, we might not always agree on, but as long as we can get them there,
Take a village,
you know what I'm
fellas.
saying? Yeah.
Man, I
Take a
never forget,
village.
man, when I was training at the parks, when I said I quit my job, I was working at Drago's for shacking fucking
No
lobsters
way.
out the crate.
No
Throwing
way.
the motherfuckers in the
I
hot-
ain't seen
in the
you
water.
for that, dude.
Nah, bro. So I'm
You really telling?
so what
They
I'm
gotta
saying
know.
is, though, what I'm
Yeah,
saying is,
for
though,
real.
It was times, bro. I'm on that park we were talking about $20 session. I probably have 2 kids come up that day. Energy bill due at the end of the week. I'm talking about they gonna disconnect it, dude.
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah,
week.
yeah.
right,
Not
right.
do.
Like how
You
you
well
said-
past do. Yeah.
And by how you
Yeah.
saying though, G, God gonna provide the way you helping others. Like out of nowhere, I got 2 kids coming in. Their parents gonna do $350 package for the month, bang energy bill. You know,
Right,
So it's
right.
small stuff like that caters, to you getting where you want to be, and all that help, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, bro,
definitely.
listen, Dave
It's
Johnson.
a humbleness in doing that.
Yeah.
Dave Johnson's
Yeah.
known
It's a
for saying
humbleness.
it, and,
It's a
and I
humbleness
say
in
it all
doing
the
that.
time, and I got it tattooed right here now, bro. When you're favored, it's really not fair.
Yeah.
The favor is not fair. Like a lot of stuff that people get stuck on and trip up, and dude, I've made so many bad decisions to be sitting here at this table with y'all right now. Like, I don't belong here. For whatever reason, he had bigger plans. And you know what? I don't even know what they are no more. I don't even try to figure it out.
You just go.
You
with
know
the
what I'm
flow.
saying? I just wake up in the morning and I follow my schedule and
True.
I do it the next day over and
That's
over.
it.
That is my process.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm going to do this until the Lord says to stop. And that's probably going to be when he takes me from this earth. I just hope I'm here to see and raise my children.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And set them on a path that, listen,
Produce good
my
fruit.
family ain't, we not rich.
Produce good fruit.
We had enough. We never had, like, it's not, like, I'm like, we don't have, like, wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to work. My kids are going to work, but they see me do it every day. You setting an example for them. You setting an example for the kids. Man, I got a kid. My kids that been training with me for a while, they called me up and they like, G, you at the gym? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, stupid question, right? Like, they just show up.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying? They know where I'm at what time, because I'm here so much. They catch me here at 8 in the morning. You catch me at 8 at night.
At the same time, too, G, like, wealth is a state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we and I know what you're talking about when you say, like, we not wealthy. But at the end of the day, when you comfortable, once you start falling into the path that was laid for you, like you say, man, I don't know how I got here. Truth be told, I don't know how I got here either. I don't think you know how you got here. And we kind of probably could all say that, because once we start falling into the guide that he has us to go, then, like, wealth is a state of mind. Because now you start looking at the world and it be like, okay, I'm more hurt for the world than want to be like the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a sense, like I'm like, damn, like, I don't feel like I gotta go be a part of the world. You know, what defines wealth? Like, honestly, like, what defines wealth? Foreign car, big chain on my neck, or something. Like, what defines wealth to the person, to the individual? But when you know who you are and you start falling into your calling, then things start. I'm very wealthy, and I don't mean money wise.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know, and I feel that way. So wealth is a state of mind, and then the way you live, you know, whether it be your kids, or my kids, like, we lead them into, like, that, because we they first heroes. You know, you your daughter first sign of a strong man, you know? So again, same thing for your daughter and your son. And, you know, so again, wealth is defined by the person who was put in the place.
I texted my combine kids this morning. I told them, thank God for everything you have, and grind. Let's grind for what we want. And one thing I do every single morning, a lot of people do it. We got sticky notes on the mirror, and I got everything I want to acquire. Yeah. So that's my symbol of wealth.
Yeah.
Everything that's on that mirror. And it's not nothing honestly tangible all the time. It's just certain mental states, certain states, and physical things.
Now you could throw some little trinkets out there, you know. Now I'm not finna be like, hey, I want to have a good peace of mind. I want to be able to, like, see the world in a good view. Hey, throw the Bentley in there. No, not like that.
Hey, bro, listen, let me tell you something, dog. I believe, though, you want something, go get it.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, you know, it's just a call, bro.
Yeah,
and listen,
really, because that's all it is anyway. All that shit is just
it was a thing. Like, I was homeless at one time. I did my first sessions with nothing. I had nothing. The first session I ever did, I went out to the park, and I swear to God, I ran the fuck out of this kid. Like, he's like, what else we gonna do? I'm like, I ain't got nothing else. Like, bitch, you gonna run today? Yeah. And they paid me $35.
Do what you know.
Yeah, like, he came back the next day. Like, I had $35. I gave me $35. I went straight to Academy. So I walked from my mom and dad's house. I would walk to the boys' club. And then I walked from the boys' club to Academy, and I walked from Academy all the way back home. And I was a fucking tyrant. Like, when I was out there and drugging and shit like that. And, man, I tell you what, some of the most peace that I've ever had in my life was them walks. Because I took it as it was a penance, and it was my opportunity to speak to God. You know what I'm saying? So when I walk it was all like, man, listen, I know I done did some fucked up shit.
Bro.
But Lord, if you just give me the strength to get through it, and that's all I ever really pray for was strength. I feel like if you strong, you can make it through whatever else. I'm not asking you for money or anything like that. If my lights got to get cut off, Lord, just give me the strength to get the lights back on or whatever it is. And as long as I can, I will. You know, so when I did my first sessions, like, you know, it's humble beginnings, but I never thought about money and things like that. But I always told myself, like, I'm gonna get whatever I want.
True.
And a Benz was something that
true. And then like you said,
and listen,
I went from walking and talking to God to
driving
being in
and
that
talking
situation.
to him now.
Yeah. So now I can't be. And listen, for
Bro, I don't
whoever
even turn the radio on in my
whoever got
car.
something to say, you don't even know the story. Like that's my situation with my team. So my team, I make sure I tell them, and what I mean by team is the young ones that I'm mandated, that he mandated me to raise, right? So what I tell my team is, at all costs, man, and I get it, you know, you have your little family, y'all got y'all partners, y'all crews, whatever y'all want to call them, y'all got all of this, y'all bros, y'all fams, but listen, as often as possible, find yourself alone, because it be them alone times where, especially if you like a deep thinker, you know, your mind should always be running anyway, right? Because you living, you breathing. Your mind's supposed to always be running. Yeah. But when you get them opportunities to be on your own, and if you in deep thought a lot, that gives you a lot of opportunity to let God come in, or like whoever that may be for you.
You gotta see.
You know, yeah,
you gotta see God in those moments.
You gotta see Him in those moments, and guess what? He will reveal Himself. You know, and He'll talk to you just like we talking, and you hear the voice. But again, that's that. You know, that's that Holy Ghost. That's that spiritual. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because when you tap into that, like that's your connection to the Creator. So when you tap into that, then you know you talking to yourself, you talking to your inner, you talking to your Holy Ghost. And then now God can come through, and now you can hear things, and you know, God, what's for me? Like you said, you know, if my lights gotta be cut off, then they gotta be cut off. Lord, just give me the strength and keep me with the mindset to know that I got to get my lights cut back on, because I don't need my daughters or my children bumping into nothing. And because then how I look like I'm really not doing my job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
and they got kids just got to know, man, how to apply that to everyday life. I know they see part of like the facility like G have, you know, I have, man, this is a beautiful facility, by the way, too. And they see what we have, but they don't understand where you come from all the time. So you inspire me just hearing your story all the time. Cause that's one thing I don't do. I don't tell my story where I come from.
You got to though, bro. Because they need. Because listen, honestly, when you tell your story, that's your opportunity.
It's not a story. It's a testimony.
Well, when you show them your testimony, but when you talking to them and you show them your testimony, it's really your opportunity to give them what you really expecting out of them, and that's vulnerability.
Yeah.
You giving them your vulnerability. You giving them, well, look, listen, for what you see, for, you know, the dogs only mentality when you walk in and you see hey, bro, yo, guess what? You shot this out, bro, but your facility ain't no punk.
No, and listen, it's a reflection
like,
of you.
Nice.
Like, the dog mentality is a reflection of you. Like,
bro.
Like and you trying to give that to every kid that comes in there.
Right. So guess what?
You didn't have
now, so when you talking to them and you want them to open up and understand mentally as far as spiritually and physically. But again, you giving them your vulnerability. Like, man, look, listen, bro, I wasn't this guy that y'all looking at, you know, AB explode, but yeah, man, AB shirts everywhere, you know. Yeah. That's how that go. But bro, that wasn't always. It wasn't. Like you said, I was in the playground. I was in, you know, and then like you said, man, I quit a job, and you know, I'm going from throwing oysters in the pot to getting 20, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a mindset, and that's a will.
Well, one thing that you did, you know, when you said that,
you did that, bro, and they gotta know that.
They gotta know that.
That's your vulnerability. Yeah. So when G say, like so like G say, when G tell his story on the walking and the, you know, the addiction, and man, bro, like you really gotta be a strong mind to shake back from that.
100%, yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
So, but then that's when you giving them, you know, well, man, look, listen, I was you. Like, so it ain't no excuse. You know, it ain't. It ain't no excuse for you.
It gives you credibility with the person that you're talking to.
I'm not just telling you something I don't know.
You know?
This is firsthand.
A lot of people get this shit passed down to them. And we didn't. There's no tenure in our, like what we've developed, like what you've developed with ABX and your facility and your program. And dude, I watched you take in like single-handedly, like there was these camps and there was this 7-on-7 and there's this speed, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, how the fuck is he doing all of this shit? And then even in our worst time,
mentality.
I was like, I
Strong
gotta
will.
take my hat off to that motherfucker.
Strong
because
will.
he fucking dug it out the
Strong
mud.
will.
I always respected what
Strong
you did.
will.
You know what I'm
Strong
saying? As far as like the business side of it and all. And it's like, you now have the ability to sit across from someone who has nothing and say, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Because you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You was in that moment.
If I
hey,
don't
bro,
believe
when you coming home and you know you got 5 days before the lights get cut off, they got something inside your stomach that just don't feel right.
If you
You
real,
know what
if
I'm
you
saying?
real,
They
if
got
you
a
real
pit.
solid and strong.
They got a pit in your stomach that you sitting there and you call, and that's the whole believe in the dark, what I said in the light. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to believe at that moment that those lights ain't gonna get turned off, or the opportunity is going to be presented to you to turn them lights on. Because a lot of people will sit back, be a victim, play a victim's mentality, and quit, and all,
That's
this
taught.
happened to me and that
That's
happened to
taught.
me, or either they're going to get up, strap up the boots, and go.
That's the upbringing. That's
Yeah,
a
my
taught
dad
mentality. That's a taught mentality though.
That's a taught
Like
mentality.
that's a taught mentality.
And that's one thing too about the kids. So it's supposed, I keep saying the kids, but people.
They
in
are
general.
adults.
People in
Some,
general.
most of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
People in
But for the
general.
ones who don't have that mentor,
I
like
say
you were
that shit
saying,
all
G,
the time.
The ones who lack that unstable, mental ground, and they don't know where to get that type of, guidance from. You got to seek it. I tell my athletes all the time too, man. And when you're putting a lot of work towards something, people will help you, along your path. That's like a teacher. We all not the smartest kids, but she see you helping you. You're
trying.
a lot of
Yeah,
work. You're
yeah,
trying a lot of effort. They're willing to help you along the way. So that's the same thing, man. Like my situation, I had type of mentors like that growing up. I didn't grow up poor or anything like that, but I had an unstable situation at home. I was mentally abused, like coming up. So like this was like my getaway. I put it all into sports, and that kind of was like my therapy within that. So when I say like some of these kids like they don't understand what it takes. Like so when I seen Jamal Chase for the first time, like shit, he got a chip on his shoulder. Like what this kid done been through.
Yeah.
But what's more dangerous than anything is a kid who wants to be great for no fucking reason.
Jamal Chase knew who he was
Early.
when he was 10 years old.
Early.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a difference too, because a lot of these kids, and you touched on, and kind of the last little segment of this whole thing is like I wanted to touch on social media a little bit, because I think it's a double-edged sword, and Jamal was a kid who knew who he was, whereas you got these kids now and they are in an identity crisis. Like they come in, they don't know who they are, they don't know what they want to do with themselves. They're being pulled in all kind of different directions. You throw social media in there and it says, hey, it's like Coach G got a Mercedes. Well, guess what, motherfucker? You didn't walk with me. You know what I'm saying? You didn't walk with me to the park.
Yeah.
You didn't ride your bike in the rain. Like you know what I'm saying?
With a bag full of ladders.
hurdles and shit. And when fucking shit
all the
gets wet, it
bags.
doubles its weight, dog. Like shit, wet parachutes are very heavy. Like I don't care what nobody says.
Noted.
You got wet parachutes in your bag, they heavy, dog. And you trekking that shit on a bike or something. And I had to wait. I remember one time it was storming. And I'm coming back down 4th Street. What I did was I advanced. I ended up at Kings Grant. My partner saw me trying. He gave me a mountain bike, Mark Miller. He's a councilman in Gretna. He gave me his mountain bike. He's like, bro, my fat ass ain't riding this shit. Take it. So he gives me the bike. And I'm riding the mountain bike, so it gave me a little more geographics. You know what I'm saying? I could spread out a little bit. Now I could go to this park and I could set up. Yeah, I could get there. It's 6 miles away, but that ain't no big deal. I got the bike now, so I hop on the bike or whatever. I'm riding, bro. I get there and I'm talking about the sky opens up, and my clients are sitting in their car. I pull up on the bike, and I'm like,
that gotta be some shit, huh?
They go home. Because we're not training in the rain.
And this dude training,
and I'm
pulling up on a mountain bike.
Yeah, well, listen.
Like,
listen,
seeing that.
I never, ever one time in my mind had that thought process that they wouldn't train with me because I was on a bike. Listen, if I'd have had to, I'd have lied and said, "Fuck, I'm just trying to be in shape."
But I just said that.
You know what I'm
Listen, and I
saying?
just said that on the like, just to be like, because again, like you just
People
said,
judge.
with the whole like the news, like the social media world.
Yeah.
Okay, boom, my trainer pulling up in a Jeep, my trailer pulling up in a Hummer, my trainer pulling up. Oh man, my trainer must be the man. And 9 times out of 10, he in a Jeep and he more focused on that than your kid. But that look more beautiful than pulling up on a mountain bike with a big heavy bag on your back and the parachute kind of probably hanging out because it's wet.
Yeah.
Oh man, we in a car and our trainer got a, like that perception, man. And then everybody feel like everything is, and not everybody feel like.
Yeah, it's all I had. Because I was walking. My mom and dad lived about a mile from the boys' club, and I would walk to the boys' club, do the session, and walk home. And then my partner was like, "Man, listen, take my mountain bike." So I take the mountain bike, and now I started going to Kings Grand. I think it was like 6 or 7 miles round trip. But I did that for a year.
Workout.
That boy put that in his GPS. That boy said,
wake up in the morning. Dog, I had a routine too. I had a 6-pack at one time. Like I was doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? And then I fucking blew my back out one time doing some jumps, doing that insanity shit. But anyway, I'm riding the bike that day, and I get to the Harvey Bridge, and the fucking bridge is going up, and I'm riding the bike, and I'm like, Evil Knievel in that motherfucker. I'm like, dog, I might jump this bitch. And I'm fucking like, nah, I better not do that shit. Cause the bridge, it'll start to raise up a little bit higher. Fuck yeah. Listen, my dumb ass would have hit that gap. And I wouldn't even came off the ground. I'd have just went straight down into the
Thank God
the water.
You didn't hit that bridge.
I know, but you go back and we laughing now, but it's like my mentality at the time is that's what I had to do. Like it wasn't like, man, I gotta ride a bike to work. Looking back and speaking on it right now, I always was grateful. Because I felt like all the shit that I did, he was giving me another opportunity at life.
Yeah.
And it was
that's all that mattered.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't care what you riding in. I was looking good. My shirt's off. I'm hoping I pull up on side a chick with a Benz. You know what I'm saying?
On a mountain bike.
Yeah, like I'm on my bike. It don't matter. I had a silver tongue, dog.
It's all in the vibe.
I had a silver tongue, dog. I'd have talked, man. I'd have been driving that car.
And I just hope everybody understands, like, you don't have to have what you need to start getting going.
That's right.
Procrastination is to really, like, not getting to where you want to be. Like G said, he had a bike, man. I remember vividly one time I'm jogging 3.5, 4 miles to the gym just to train my only client I had.
Yeah.
Like when you have nothing, you have no excuse.
Right.
So like you said, one thing G never did was he did not even think one time about canceling the session. He didn't think one time about not having a way. So I commend you that.
Yeah.
That's the process.
It's and you did it. You just said it. You run to the gym. And it's like, at that time you're on call. Like when you got like 3 clients and somebody calls you up and says, "Hey man,
you're on call at that point.
You on call. Your life is on call. Phone rings at 10:30 at night. Anytime fitness is open and they do say, "Look, man, you want to meet me over there? I'll drop a 20 on you. I'm on my way. Let me get my bike together. It takes me 15 minutes."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They also need to know, bro, too. At the same time, God placed valuable people in your life. Tap into your resources. Mm-hmm. Tap into your resources, because sometimes you might think,
it was
okay,
hard.
I'm stuck here, knowing that you got somebody that you could tap into, like you said. In your
I couldn't ask for help. You know how I am, dog. You can't even buy me lunch.
Like you walking, like real. He ain't lying though. He ain't lying. And then I be feeling bad because he's like, "You want something here?"
Right,
you know?
Right.
And then I'm like, "Okay, G, you want something?" Nah, I'm okay. And then I be like, "Man, fuck you, bitch. My money spent." But keeping it a buck. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But like he said, okay, I'm walking. And Mark Miller, shout out to Mark. Here, G, here go a bike. That was a resource. Yep. You know, so these youngins, they need to know, like,
the help
tap
is there.
into your resources.
You got to do it though.
Yeah, but you have to, like you said, you gotta in that student teacher aspect. You got to work your ass off. And as long as you working your ass off, it's going to be somebody that's going to come around and notice that. You are seen. And when you say you're doing something, do that. Because then now you got people who will be like, man, that kid trying. And where you might fall short, that be just a person to come in and pick you up and keep you going to, because again, your steps are already anointed. It's on you if you stop.
That's one thing too. Relationships can take you some places that money can't.
Yeah, yeah.
Like your character is everything. I know.
Character is everything.
It's so hard nowadays just to find genuine people. Like I hit about 5 people this morning up, random text message who just came to mind. I just want to give a genuine text message because it's so hard to find genuine people.
True life.
One of my partners talking about how he was gonna propose to his girl. Talking about he gonna be a millionaire. Like I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a millionaire, but he's saying he gonna do it from a Superdome, have an airplane come in. I say, shit, you know the owner of the Superdome, you don't have to buy it.
Right.
You know, so relationships everything. Relationships everything. It increases your value.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's another thing.
do.
You know, collabing with G now. So if I could send a kid who can't walk a straight line to G, I just increase my value, but I don't even have to touch him.
That's right. That's right.
That networking thing is very powerful, and unfortunately in the New Orleans area, it's easy to fall victim to and not, but you get caught in this crab in the barrel mentality. Like man, I was watching, and I always go back to this story, dude. When Archie Manning was getting interviewed when Peyton Manning was drafted, and he came out, they had a guy, Ryan, I can't think of his last name. He came out at the same time, but he was like, they were going 1 and 2. Yeah, so they were sitting there and they in the interviewing process. Peyton Manning came out, and it was Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf. He was a big old flop. He ended up having all kind of trouble. But that's what the, you know, he's labeled as. That's what that world. So when the draft process was going on, they asked Archie Manning, you know, all bias aside, as a former NFL quarterback and somebody close to the game, which one of them you think's got the tools to? Which one of them you think's going to succeed? And he goes, "Why they both can't succeed?" You know, so it's like dog mentality, your mentality on life, and you know, I did listen. A lot of spiritual guidance stuff and things like Inky Johnson, Eric Thomas, and guys like that. Like, I'll listen to that stuff. A lot of times I'm just riding in the car listening to them, and I don't even really hear it, but it's talking to my subconscious. And you know, Inky Johnson talks about that old it's like a Indian, like a Navajo Indian, like saying or something, where it's like the son and the grandpa are talking, and the grandpa tells the son, "You got 2 wolves that live inside of you. One of them's good and he does for people and he's polite and he does all of this, and the other one's nasty and he steals and he lies and all of that." And the kid said, "Well, which one am I, or which one is it gonna be inside of me?" And he said, "Whatever one you feed." So, you know, a lot of like the things that we take in and stuff like that. And then like what we seeing on social media and a lot of this stuff, man, is like our kids are up against it already. They just because of, I listen to whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I heard your boys say that our last session together, and I just listen to him talk sometime, and just tells me everything I need to know about him. I could tell everything about man just about, you know, his work.
Hearing him, yeah.
So, Clay Jr. said that one time last session. He said that we was talking about the music we listen to. He said he don't listen to much jumbo because it's bad for his subconscious. Yeah. He said, but there's a time and place, you know, when to turn it on, like workouts, you know, training, stuff like that. So that's something a lot of people not tuned in with.
And keeping it 100, me knowing him, honestly, that's probably one of his most, like, when he in his work ethic, like, young boy is that guy to him. He that go-to guy. Yeah. But again, you got to know when to turn that on, when to turn that off. You
got to understand the difference. And our kids are too vulnerable at 10 years old to know the difference. 12 years old to know the difference. And when you grow up and that's what you're feeding, right? That's the mentality you're feeding. And then what do we expect? Like you somewhere along the line, it's going to manifest. Everything that you do manifests itself in your life. So you got to really be, and then, you know, as a parent, it's like I use the joke all the time about the nervous system's like a 5-year-old. If you curse in front of it, it's going to say fuck. Like you curse in front of a 5-year-old, he's going to curse. But if you don't ever curse in front of him, he'll never curse. So if we're not introducing this negative. And listen, I listen to it. I pump it in the gym. If we got 20 people in the gym and they working their ass off,
Right.
you best believe that shit's pumping through the
create the energy.
speakers
It's
the
hard.
energy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's the
You
energy.
create an
Yeah.
environment that's competitive. It's a healthy environment to train in, but you got to know the difference between what's
Yeah.
real and
Yeah.
what's not.
Yeah.
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 Half them dudes ain't even living like that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They just
Yeah.
saying that stuff and it's an entertainment value, but we can't like
And that's that. Well,
Try to
listen,
live
that's,
that way.
That's the sad part, because half of them, they're not living that way, but they're going to get the same effects as if they are, because that's the energy that they pumping into the universe.
Yeah, because
That's the energy. Like if you listen, first of all, spiritually, music is a spiritual thing. Like music, it soothes your soul.
Yeah.
It talks to your spirit. So if you taking like a gift to be able to write music or do whatever you do with music, and you taking that gift that should be created for good, but then you making a profit off of it, planting evil seeds in the world. For those who don't know no better, the misguided, then again, you really putting that on yourself, because whether they see you, like, listen, whether we believe that this dude is that or this or that, whatever he's saying, he might as well be that guy, because he's going to get the brunt of the energy that he's putting out. That energy is going to come back to
and
him.
it's that shit's all by design, dog.
Right.
We already know that.
Yeah,
that music
yeah.
industry
That's
shit. Kanye said it.
Yeah.
That's a whole
Yeah.
nother podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
like, we know
Yeah.
we know
I
what
read
time
into
it
that
is.
a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can
Yeah.
see it, but the social media thing's been a problem for a long time, and some of the music stuff, the entertainment stuff is a problem, because they can't tell the difference between what's real. And the bad thing is that now social media has put out this concept, like, you look at the Island Boys, right? And it's like, you could go and act like that and do whatever, and then people are paying for that. And it's like,
Yeah.
you tell somebody to not be an idiot, or not be and listen, I'm not trying to pass judgment, and it could be all cartoon character shit, and that's how they making their money. But a 12-year-old don't know no different.
No.
He don't have a mind that's mature
It's no
enough to
different than
understand.
them turning on Mickey Mouse.
It's harmful. Now, we use social media to grow our business and our brand and think, like, I mean, honestly, if it didn't have social media, I don't know where I would be in this world. You know what I'm saying? I got a global brand now, and it's like, I got people in North Korea. I don't even know what they say.
Listen,
on their page.
it's a marketing
Like,
tool, but it's all depending on how you use that tool to market yourself.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Like it's needed, but it's needed for some, for a person who understands what's really going on. Like,
That's
it
what
could help.
Mark on social media though. I'm talking to my content guys. Then I had to tell them, like, if it don't make sense, it don't make sense with us posting. Then we just start posting without a purpose, because we're not models.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything
right.
has a need somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to
Yeah.
need somewhere.
And it's like your page is always your work and stuff like that, or you
Empowering
promoting
stuff.
a kid or something
empowering.
like that, and it's empowering.
Yeah, a good word, a good message.
It's a good thing. But man, listen, I'm glad you came on the show. I'm grateful to God for the relationship
Yeah.
and what we developing and what this is gonna be, because I really feel like it's right. Like I'm really. It was one of the things, like,
I do too, G.
it wasn't even like it was unsettling, and I didn't even knew it was unsettling. You know what I'm saying? Until it changed, and then once it changed, it was like, man, this shit should have been like this a long
Yeah,
time.
let me tell some people something too, because with this, because I got something called ABX Speed School, and then with Speed School, I'm teaching the biomechanical side of running, and I have them athletes that come in. I can only do so much for you mechanically until, like, you just don't have that nervous system that go. So what G is doing on the GLS Go to side, recoding the body to be able to react and respond how it should. And a lot of the kids, just outside of proper alignment, so that's why the nervous system not responding how they want to. So mix that with the biomechanical side. On what we doing, we shaving 40s down 2/10, 3/10 of a second, like in 30 days, and it's proven right now, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're
bro,
really
to
doing it.
both of y'all, bro, honestly, I just want to thank God for giving y'all the opportunity to mature. Like real life. Like, bro, like, because listen, both of y'all are needed.
Man, when I seen G, when I said
Both of y'all need
what
it,
you
bro.
doing right on the online side, bro, I said I gotta go holler at G.
Like,
Cause he
y'all,
doing
bro.
something. What I'm saying right now, though, G, is like the business side is being in it, and then what you're doing, you making it more passive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you want to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
You know, because you want to have energy to go, you know, and give to people at the end of the day.
Right, right.
Yeah. But give them the ads. Tell them where they can find you. You know what I'm saying?
sir.
Like whoever's trying to get out there and get some work.
So if you guys trying to, you know, want more speed tips, it's ABX Speed School. To follow the business page, ABX Performance. Personal page, AB_explode with an X. All right, so all platforms, same thing.
Yeah, man. Listen, I appreciate you coming on the show and all, and,
Pleasure, man.
you know, you could find us at GLS_Goda_education or at GLS_Goda_training, at Goda Movement on Instagram. I
Man,
appreciate
you. Don't
you.
leave out GoToShop.com. Don't do that to me, bro. At GoToShop.com. Come see
For all your Goda
I'll let your boy
products.
for all your Goda
Donald's
products.
Donald's the man. He handles
know.
the shop.
You know.
So
Hey, bro, thank you, bro. Like,
yeah.
and listen, this, the first of many,
Yes, sir.
and you the first.
We about to build some big with this, man.
You're the first, bro. Like that, man.
Big with
This a blessed day, bro. Like
Yeah.
this, what's up?
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
That's
man.
the energy I put out,
Yeah.
bro. I ain't
Yep.
trying to do nothing else but this.
right here, man.
Well, good,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Keep everything
Yes, sir.
rolling. We'll keep it moving, and we're gonna be letting y'all know about. We're gonna do something this summer. We setting it up for y'all. So,
Sir.
everybody, y'all be good.
Money.
Deuces.